Hello, my name is Haley Interlicchia, and today I'm going to be talking to you about mold organization proposal. So, an abstract. This project is considered to be a lean manufacturing project, and the project that I'm talking to you about today is a 5S project. 5S projects are used to increase efficiency and to decrease waste. So, some of the problems that I see within the company. The first problem is with the working drawing templates. Versions of the software that are used are not all the same, so that could cause an issue when you're using templates for different drawings. The drawings are not saved on the correct templates, so when the design engineers save their work to the templates, they could be selecting the wrong templates. And this is also because there's no standard for templates, so the company hasn't put into effect like you must use this template when saving your drawings. The second problem is that there's no correlation between the templates and the molds. So similar molds can have different versions to them, and employees may accidentally grab the wrong mold when they're on the floor looking for a certain version. And this can cause different and wrong products to be made from when a customer comes in and they say they want a specific version of a mold. If the wrong version is selected, you could have a surplus of products that you cannot use. And then the third problem is storage of the molds. The molds are currently stored on the floor, so this increases employee laziness due to having to bend over, and it takes a lot of time to find the molds due to the disorganization. So some of the solutions that are proposed are for the working drawing templates to update all the computers to the same version software. Also, to reprint the working drawings on the correct templates, and this includes possibly needing to remake the working drawing template so that every engineer uses the same template. And then put into place a standard for template use. So create basically a rule that says you must use template, so-and-so when saving drawings. For the no correlation between molds and templates, if there's an old version of a mold that isn't used, place it in a separate location from the current version that is being used. Each mold will have a correlating working drawing with the same number. So for example, if an employee is looking for mold number 500 version C, the mold will be labeled and the drawing will both be labeled 500 version C. And then with the old version molds out of the way, no products will be made using the wrong molds. And then for the last problem, a solution for the storage is to put shelves into place, and this way the molds are off the floors and not waste an up height for employees to grab. This creates a solution to no longer having to bend over the floor level, so this is safer for employees, and it also gets rid of laziness, and it also increases observation when you're not on the floor looking. And also it saves times when searching for molds. They will be organized by number and version, so this makes it easier for employees to follow down the line to find the correct molds. So my experience with these types of projects at Alfred State, I took a class on lean manufacturing. So a 5S project is lean manufacturing, like I said, and in this class I performed my own 5S project with a group. So basically we were assigned a place within the academic building. Ours was a storage closet for a club, and we had to organize and basically do a 5S project on this closet. So a little more into a 5S project and what the schedule looks like for one of those. So the first step is the sort step. So under the sort steps, this would be where you're removing all the molds from the areas. You're temporarily storing molds somewhere else that's out of the area where you're going to be finally placing them. You find out the most used molds and the least used molds, and you separate them. That way you can put them in order of, what's most grabbed the most and what's grabbed the least. And then red tag or dispose of the molds that are no longer used or needed. And this is also where you order supplies for the rest of the steps. And this step is scheduled to take 8 weeks. The next step is the shine step. And this is typically the fastest step of all 5S projects. It's when you're cleaning the areas. So this would be cleaning the area for the shelves to be put in, cleaning the molds if necessary. And this is scheduled to take 2 weeks. The next step is standardize. So this is the longest step besides the sustain step. And this is when you're going to be updating software to all your computers, switching over all drawings to correct templates. This is when you're going to make the new template system, and you're going to create SOPs, which are standard operating procedures. You're going to correlate the drawings to the molds. You're going to match the numbers and versions for molds and drawings, and this is scheduled to take 24 weeks. The next step is the set in place step. This is when we're going to be putting the shelves into place and putting the molds on the shelves and in order. And this is when we're going to remember that we're matching the templates with the molds and we are putting them in alphanumeric order. And this is scheduled to take 2 weeks. And then the sustain step is the last step, and this is when you're going to be notifying employees of changes, training employees on how to use the new systems we put in place, hanging the standard operating procedures near the molds. This ensures that if an employee, forgets the procedures that they're supposed to be doing, they always, have the ability to look up what they're supposed to be doing. And this is also when you're going to make sure the system stays in place. And this typically takes about a year, and it's good to have it at a year. So the timeline. So the length of the overall project is 1 year and 9 months. This is an overestimate of time. So we have taken into account any obstacles that we would come across and put that into the time estimate. In the realistic order of the 5S steps that this project would follow would be different than the typical ones. So the first step would be standardized, because you need to change all the templates over first before you start working on sorting the molds and stuff like that. So it would go standardize, sort, shine, set in place, and sustain. So talking about cost. So there's 3 main costs that we see arising from this project. The first one is employee costs, and this is the amount that will be spent paying employees to help with this task. So basically, a group of employees will be tasked with doing this project instead of their everyday work, so that will be a cost on the company. And then a time cost, we all know that time equals money. Again, this relates back to you're going to be paying employees to not be doing their typical work anymore, but to be focusing on this project. And then other costs are place to store the molds, cleaning supplies, shelving, disposal of the unknown or the unneeded molds, updates to software, reprinting of working drawings on templates, printing of standard operating procedures, and trainings and meeting time with employees to go over the new procedures. Potential obstacles. So with the employees, a potential obstacle is that the new process isn't sustained by the employees and it becomes disorganized again, and that the process is not well received by the employees. So basically, they don't like the new standards, they don't like the new process to do things. Another obstacle is the templates. Switching a high number of drawings to new templates is very meticulous and it's very time consuming, and this could possibly take longer than we scheduled for. Benefits. So the 3 biggest benefits we see are time. So the time to find molds will be decreased, therefore the business will become more efficient, and more time during the day that is saved from not having to look for molds can be used to do more work on the floor. With employees, it will boost morale because of the organization. It is known that an organized and a business that has systems in place, makes it easier for employees to work throughout the day, and when it's easier for them to work, they're happier. And with the molds being off the floors, there's no reason for laziness. Again, it increases observation, so finding molds will be faster. And then money, no mistakes in products from the molds being organized with the versions and the templates matching, so you won't have any struggles to get rid of the product that you have. And then you can accomplish more in a day. because of the time that you are saving. Thank you. Any questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
Uh, what do you propose to do with the red tag mulch?
So the mulch will be sorted through accordingly with the proper staff, so hires up within the company, and we will determine if any of them will need to be used again in production, or to fill orders that clients will need for back stock or they need more stock. And if they don't need to be used, they will be disposed of in a proper manner.
I have a question. What is entailed in the 52-week sustained period?
So the sustain period is a year long because it's always great to observe a new process for a year. This gives the company an idea of how well the systems are working and to see how well it's being, taken in by employees and how, more efficient it has become.
I have a question. Do you think we will need to pay overtime to our employees for this?
No, I do not think overtime will be necessary or required when scheduling the project and thinking about the timeline. We took into account the typical 40-hour work week, so we shouldn't really have any issues. And if we have to, expand the timeline, it'd be more cost efficient to just, expand the timeline and expand the amount of time we have to work on the project rather than paying overtime to employees. Thank you.
Thank you very much.